Today's program is brought to you by PennyStockProfessor.com. For all the best OTCBB stock picks, sign up at PennyStockProfessor.com. Thank you for tuning in to another TBC Daily News Update. I'm Brandon Vincent.
And I'm Angelina Soriano. Gold rose 2.5% to a three-week high on Monday as caution ahead of key U.S. data due later this week put pressure on the dollar, and amid speculation inflation may rise this year. Gold strength lifted other precious metals, with palladium climbing to its highest since July 2008 and platinum hitting a 16-month peak. Both are taking support from talk of new platinum and palladium-backed exchange-traded funds. Spot gold hit a high of $1,123.40 an ounce and was bid at $1,122.50 an ounce against $1,123.40 an ounce late in New York on Friday. The dollar weakened on Monday as investors locked in recent gains ahead of U.S. economic data this week that could dictate the currency's direction in the coming months. U.S. gold futures for February delivered on the COMEX division of the New York Mercantile Exchange rose $26.50 to $1,122.70 an ounce.
The economic downturn has dimmed many entrepreneurs' hopes of opening a small business, as sources of funding have dwindled or dried up completely. And while many hope 2010 will be better, the outlook continues to look bleak. The majority of entrepreneurs use personal savings or contributions from family or friends to fund their ventures, but personal wealth, often connected to the value of stock portfolios or homes, hasn't bounced back. Meanwhile, banks, under scrutiny by regulators, are continuing to strengthen capital reserves, making it difficult for entrepreneurs with track records and years of experience to qualify for loans. And professional investors, stung by the financial meltdown, are giving fewer capital infusions. Funding from angel investors, or high-worth individuals who provide capital to young companies, fell 30% to $9.1 billion in the first half of 2009, compared with the same period from a year earlier. That figure is expected to remain flat for 2010. What is encouraging is the number of deals that has ticked up slightly. While angels are investing less, $370,000 per deal in 2009 versus $530,000 in 2008, about 24,500 ventures received funding during the first half of 2009, compared with 23,100 the earlier year. Venture capitalists, too, are continuing to invest, but typically in later stage companies already in their portfolios rather than new prospects. The average deal size declined to $5.7 million in the first half of 2009, compared with $7.4 million to $7.8 million between 2005 and 2008. Still getting the money may be a challenge. Whether it's an SBA loan or a conventional loan, you really have to be perceived as the cream of the crop. Startup entrepreneurs in particular will have to show that they have a significant amount of their own savings in the venture, plus solid cash flow projections.
European shares rose to a 15-month high in a broad rally on Monday, the first trading day of 2010, helped by upbeat economic data and with banks among the major gainers. The FTSE Euro First 300 index of top European shares rose 1.4% to end at 1,060.73 points, the highest closing level since early October 2008. The heavyweight banking sector added most of the index. Part nationalized Royal Bank of Scotland rose 9.9%, helped by a rating upgrade to outperform from Exane BNP Paribas analysis and hopes of rekindled investor interest. BNP Paribas, Banco Santander, Credit Suisse, HSBC, and UBS rose 1.8 to 4.6%. Bank of Ireland and Allied Irish Banks rose 15.1 to 12.5%, respectively, amid optimism on other funding positions.
Big Oil never wanted to be here. In 4,300 feet of water outside of the Gulf of Mexico, drilling through nearly 5 miles of rock. It's an expensive way to look for oil. Chevron Corporation is paying nearly $500,000 a day to the owner of Clearleader, one of the world's newest and most powerful drilling rigs. The new well off the coast of Louisiana will connect to a huge platform floating nearby, which cost Chevron nearly $650 million to build. The first stage of this oil exploration project took more than 10 years and $2.7 billion, with no guarantee that it would pay off. Chevron came here in an hour-long helicopter ride south of New Orleans because of so many of the places it would rather be have become off-limits. Western oil companies have been kicked out of much of the Middle East in recent decades, had assets seized in Venezuela, and seen much of the U.S. roped off due to environmental regulations. Their access to Iran is limited by sanctions, in Russia by curbs on foreign investments, and in Iraq by sheer violence. So Chevron and many other oil companies are moving even further off the shore in search of oil. The quest is paying off as these companies discover unexpectedly large quantities of oil that only they have the technology and financial muscle to find and produce. And many of the first wells from Chevron's latest Gulf of Mexico project came online. The wells are now pumping 125,000 barrels of oil per day, making the project one of the Gulf's biggest producers. In September, BP announced what could be the biggest discovery in the Gulf in 3 years. A field could hold nearly 3 billion barrels. The discovery comes as many of the giant oil fields of the past century are beginning to dry up, and some experts say that oil production could soon reach a peak and begin to decline. The new deepwater fields represent a huge and largely untapped source of oil, which could help ease fears that the world won't be able to meet the demand for energy, which is expected to grow rapidly in coming years.
Top 10 trading stocks for January 2010 are Neighbors Industry, NBR, Marvel Technology Group, MRVL, U.S. Steel, trading symbol X, On Semiconductor, ONNN, Adobe Systems, ADBE, Carnival, CCL, Cisco Systems, CSCO, eBay, EBAY, General Electric, GE, Corning, GLW.
I'm Kathy Hill, and I founded Tax Tiger to help people just like you with IRS problems.
We lost our business in this recession and owed the IRS $61,000. We hired a well-known company we saw on TV but lost our money with no results.
Thankfully, we found Tax Tiger, who negotiated a low settlement of $260.
Tax Tiger gave us our lives back.
The experts at Tax Tiger are so caring and professional, we highly recommend them.
Call us now for a free consultation and let the experts at Tax Tiger give you a good night's sleep.
In fashion news, BCBG Max Azria has graciously simplified our shopping experience with the launch of their iPhone application via iTunes. The app allows shoppers to sift through the e-commerce site directly from their cell while staying connected to all of the label's happenings. The Create Your Look feature is especially user-friendly, allowing customers to mix and match pieces from the latest collection. Out and about and can't find the nearest BCBG boutique? Simply plug your coordinates into the store locator and you can take a brief rest from your virtual shopping.
Looking to develop on the success of the iPod and the iPhone, Apple Incorporated will unveil a new multimedia tablet later this month, but isn't planning to ship the project until March. While the device's ship date hasn't been finalized and is subject to change, people briefed on the project say the new product will come with 10 to 11-inch screen that is a touchscreen, which would make it closer to the size of the MacBook as opposed to the size of the iPhone. Apple was working on 2 different finishes for the device, though it is unclear if they are testing finishes or if Apple intends to offer multiple versions of the tablet at different prices. A tablet-like device has been in the works at Apple for years, but this unit in particular has had the central focus of CEO Steve Jobs since his return in June. The tablet is expected to be a multimedia device that will allow people to watch movies, play games, surf the net, and read ebooks and newspapers. Even though PC tablets have been available for years, Apple intends to carve out its own niche in this electronical market. And now for today's green news. It's a big week for LG Electronics. We've heard for a while about the controversy around LG refrigerators not meeting ENERGY STAR criteria. As many as 20 models are being stripped of their labels. However, LG is turning right around and suing the Department of Energy over the issue for not being more clear in ranking around their ENERGY STAR standards. Yet while all of this is happening, LG is also ranking in first with UL Environment for several electronic products, the latest of which is a greener PC monitor. Greener Computing reports the latest of LG's first in green electronics credentials with UL Environment is its new 23-inch LED monitor, which will be introduced later this week at the Consumer Electronics Show. The new monitor is not only energy efficient, it is also 90% recyclable. While this new unit is as green as it gets and even meets ENERGY STAR requirements, we certainly can't say the same for LG's refrigerators.
Thank you for tuning in to another TBC Daily News Update. I'm Brandon Vincent.
And I'm Angelina Soriano.